Welcome back to the module for Project Management Fundamentals. In this module, we will continue to look at monitoring and controlling process group. This is the fourth process group among the 5. So we've talked about initiation, talked about planning, we've talked about execution, and now our project is in the phase of execution, which means we have to constantly monitor and control the project. However, know that the monitoring and controlling process group does not necessarily wait until you start executing. It actually starts from the beginning, because even while you're trying to initiate, you're doing some level of control and monitoring to see that you actually define the right set of things at the beginning. And actually you monitor and control what kind of plan you want to put in place. And when you're executing, then the level of monitoring and controlling activities even becomes more. So project management, monitoring and controlling involves actively reviewing the status of your project as it proceeds. And you have to evaluate potential obstacles. And when you identify them, you have to implement necessary changes to them. So it's a loop, actually. So basically, when you initiate, when you plan, when you close or execute, you have to constantly monitor that. So which means as you enter every phase and before you exit and finish the phase, you are constantly monitoring and controlling things to ensure that everything goes fine. And in trying to do that, you would look at things like communication, performance reporting, what kind of change control is needed, verifying the scope, and if there's need for change, monitoring and making sure or controlling that that change goes through the right process. And also controlling the schedule in terms of managing how much time is needed for individual activities as well as overall project, as well as doing cost control, procurement, and risk monitoring for quality as well. So when you talk about monitoring and control, you practically look at outputs like what are the reports that I get, check against whether they're going according to plan, and what are the change requests, how do I manage them. The project management plan, should it be updated because maybe there's a change request that got approved. Also, what are the documents that needs update that are related to things like your cost forecast, issue logs, your lessons learned, your risk register, and schedule forecast, and many other things that you can think about that you've planned and are now executing in a project. So inputs that are required in order to be able to monitor and control your project work would include project management plan, which could be any of the plan that you've made for any other part. Call it communication, call it stakeholder management, call it scope plan, but you have to use all that plan as input to see whether some things are going according to plan when you're executing, and to control them if they are deviating from what you expect. Other project documents like what assumptions did you make, what are the basis of your estimation for cost, what are your cost forecasts, and are there deviations or things that are different? Your defined milestones, your quality of reports, risk registers, what are the performance indicators that you chose to use to monitor your project, and this forms your input, as well as getting help or organizational process that you're using. And by passing those input through some tools and techniques like expert judgment for people to look at, are we doing the right things? Well, is the project management plan going accordingly? Are we executing in the right way? Are we meeting our milestones? Are we doing the right cost benefit analysis? Do we have the complete data to show what other alternative do we need, um, both for cost and both for issues, and what kind of decision making do we make to be sure that in the end the output shows whether or not we are in line with the project execution output. And if this is not according to the plan, then we need to make sure that they are controlled in a way that we can get the right things. And this is so important. I mean, the monitoring and control part is so important um, to the success of a project. So, gather project status updates, execute and revise your communication plan, execute and revise your project schedule, monitor and manage your risk and issues, facilitate project change management, and manage and track decisions. And when you continuously do that as you execute your project, you can always update everything needed and make different decisions in order to come to a successful end. So I hope this helps in understanding this phase of the project that also goes along with other phases as you start managing your project. Thank you and see you.